Dynamics of heterogeneity in a greatest words. Focus on process. For this purpose, we attempt to identify what we feel are three fundamentally contrasting examples of how animals might exploit resources spatially in greatest pasture, and so how particular forms of heterogeneity might arise and be maintained. We look for a possible signature for these different spatial weights of exploiting recurse in the heterogeneity in pasture that emerges, and we look at the impact of different sources of the heterogeneity on yield and stability. Question of scale. First is clear that working at the beta scale, all deflation must be seen and discrete process, and a potentially stochastic as there will be uncertainty about when, and so at what stage or state of regrowth. A patch is a revised.
The constructing functional response. When working at the byte scale, the nurture to a functional response for consumption becomes the reported simple relationship between the biomass of herbage present in a single byte size R area and the proportion of standard biomass removed and single byte. This captures the local and instinctual response by the animal of vegetation state, where, for example, F describes a proportion of the grades by biomass removed for a pair of biome W prior deflation above an undergrade horizon, way minimum one advance of this relationship in a that biomass after deflation has been derived for the biomass before deflation. This makes it possible to link the functional response for consumption with the data for plant growth, and the latter requires knowledge of the part or state after of deflation. Three contrasting methods of spatial of exploiting of recurs. Having revised our theory for consumption and growth in relation to behavior state at big scale, we can now consider three fundamental constructing types of animals might place their bites in on time and consider the implications. Type 1. Sequence grazing. In this first example, animals move from a bit-sized patch to next systematically and in the strict sequence. Type 2. Random grazing. In this second example, animals were considered to graze from the field of bicycle paths at random. Type 3. Selective grazing, where considered that animals may choose a base where they place their bites of basic of state. Role of heterogeneity in the yield of stability. The impact of these three contrast sources of heterogeneity on main vegetation in state yield and stability in show in fights, where the resulting equilibrium values are plotted against stock density. In this way, we can consider that the consequence will be a given number of animals chosen to distribute the grazing in the three constraining ways per se on the performance of the grazeland system and the implication for the animals themselves. It is important to note on that for now on the work looking on performance of one grazing strategy and relative on the other for given set of parameters for grazing behavior. Experimental evidence. There are therefore surprisingly few data presented in a frame support the kind of analysis proposed there to explain the creation of maintenance of heterogeneity and impact. However, the insightful studies have shown how markedly bimodal distributions and path state can indeed arise under very careful control, continuous grazing by cattle, and in the bulk of grazing and grass legume pastures. This study also shows a non-bimodal distribution arose in the wide range of stock densities. The stock density effect of proportion of the total area that will talk relative to the proportion that was shared. Heterogeneity and complexity abound. Even a recent show pasture reveals heterogeneity of range of the spatial scale of products. They make a difference only in the plant size, morphology, and the local plant density, but the subsequently invasion and local genotype selection can give rise to increased biodiversity. Managing with heterogeneity. It must be recognized as related model that while confining animals to paddock is effective in an ensure that the paddock is arrested to the desired result state intake rates and the price and time is consumed is doing so. Other areas will have increased tendency to become town and potentially have superstitional regroup intervals and thus become less performed by animals.